Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into an absolutely incredible story of educational transformation. We're going to unpack how a localized initiative at Dhupguri High School in India forged an extraordinary partnership with the global scientific community, specifically tying into the frontier research at CERN. We'll see exactly how bringing particle physics directly into a local high school completely shifted how these students view their own potential. It is a brilliant, real-world case study in scaling scientific curiosity, and I can't wait to share it with you. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit 1. The future scientist deficit. 2. The CERN partnership. 3. Hands-on experiential learning. 4. The local biodiversity register. 5. Digital frontiers in classrooms. And 6. Igniting tomorrow's researchers. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The future scientist deficit.
To really understand why this matters, listen to this quote from Stefano. He's a visiting senior scientist from the Italian National Institute of Nuclear and Particle Physics, and he's worked directly with the Large Hadron Collider. While he was visiting India to seek out young, enthusiastic science talent, he noticed a really concerning trend. He said, the majority of students here want to be doctors or engineers. The desire to dedicate oneself to pure science or become a scientist is getting lost. That right there sets the stakes. Incredible raw talent in places like Dhupguri is defaulting to secure career tracks, and pure research is being left behind.
But why? Why are these brilliant students abandoning pure science? Well, it's actually not a lack of passion. Instead, it's a massive psychological barrier. Students look at the billion-dollar infrastructure of global labs and think, there's no way I can do that. I need incredibly expensive equipment to even begin. So they opt for medicine or engineering. That perceived lack of infrastructure is literally stopping future scientists before they even start.
Section 2. The CERN partnership. This is where things get really exciting, thanks to university professor and science researcher Sudeb Shankar Dasgupta, who actively seeks out future scientists. A direct bridge was built between the pinnacle of global particle physics and these local students. Stefano actually traveled to Dhupguri High School to run an interactive workshop for 11th and 12th graders, and his entire mission? To prove that world-class scientific exploration doesn't start with multi-million-dollar tools. It starts in your mind. It starts with curiosity, methodology, and logic.
Stefano totally demystified the whole process. He didn't walk in and start throwing complex math on the board. He simply asked, how does a scientist work? And broke the scientific method down into 5 basic steps: formulation of a question, hypothesis, prediction, testing, and analysis. He showed them that the exact same logical steps used to discover new particles at the Large Hadron Collider are the exact same steps a high schooler can use right now. He shifted their entire mindset from worrying about the equipment they lacked to focusing on the methodology they already possessed.
Part 3. Hands-on experiential learning. Following that CERN workshop, the students took immediate action. They didn't wait for a pristine, state-of-the-art lab to be built. They set up right there on the school balcony. Working with test tubes, chemical solutions, and microscopes, they dove headfirst into pure experiential learning. They really took Stefano's message to heart. You take whatever limited resources you have, and you just start investigating. And when they zoom in on their samples, they are observing actual, tangible cellular structures. This is absolutely crucial, because real discovery happens when students can physically touch the science themselves. It totally bridges the gap between just passively reading a textbook and actively gathering empirical data. They are now living the scientific method that was just outlined for them. But it didn't stop there. To push this critical thinking even further, the school organized comprehensive science seminars and model competitions. The students actually built these fantastic illuminated model cities, completely wired up with functioning light circuits and integrating urban planning concepts. It's a brilliant showcase of them applying their new engineering and physics knowledge to real-world scenarios. It really proves how inspiring scientific curiosity yields immediate, highly creative results. Section 4. The local biodiversity register. The school also realized that their very own backyard was a research frontier. Teachers and students stepped right outside the classroom to systematically observe and document the local trees and environment. By using everyday digital tools like smartphone cameras, they literally transformed their schoolyard into a live, interactive laboratory. The takeaway here is huge. By meticulously documenting local flora and fauna, they built a comprehensive school biodiversity register. They aren't just memorizing biology facts, they are actively building environmental stewardship and developing deep ecological literacy. They are operating like real field researchers, gathering baseline data that actually matters to their own local ecosystem. Section 5. Digital Frontiers in Classrooms. Now, to tackle those really complex physics concepts that you just can't demonstrate on a balcony, the school went all in on information and communication technology, or ICT. By packing classrooms and heavily utilizing projectors and multimedia presentations, they were able to make these concepts visually clear, deeply engaging, and totally learner-centered. Just imagine being a student sitting in Dhupguri, and suddenly you are transported into a VR-style simulation of a spacecraft, complete with readouts for velocity and g-force. These interactive digital resources bridge the ultimate gap. They prove that you can be instantly connected to the vastness of space or the center of a particle collision. The frontier of science is now digitally accessible from absolutely anywhere. Which brings us to Section 6, Igniting Tomorrow's Researchers. This quote is the ultimate payoff for everything we've talked about today. One of the high school science students explicitly stated, "I wasn't sure about the future before, but today, after discussions with Stefano, I have decided I will pursue research in science in the coming days." Wow, that is a massive triumph. The CERN partnership, the hands-on learning, the biodiversity projects, the digital exploration, it all worked. It successfully shifted a student's mindset away from the default path directly toward a dedicated future in pure scientific research. The physics teachers at Dhupguri are incredibly hopeful that this initiative will continue to benefit their students and show them the way forward. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a much larger, provocative question. Think about this on a global scale. What breakthroughs are waiting to be discovered if we connect every local classroom to the global scientific frontier? There is a massive, untapped reservoir of potential sitting in classrooms all over the world, just waiting for the right spark and the right methodology to show them that they already have everything they need to start exploring the universe. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.